So, in light of the, recent protests at different universities, not just in New York City, but throughout the country, but mainly New York City, where NYPD not only arrested protesters, but even brought in military-style tanks to basically do so and remove them on campus. And many of them are in danger of being expelled. There's a report on Newsweek that states that businesses are refusing to hire Columbia University graduates and even graduates from years ago. This is sad. And I'm going to read this article. But before I do it, let me just, give a shout out to everybody that's been listening to my content, viewing my content. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, share, and so forth. Hey everyone. Hey. So I just came across this article about 5 minutes ago, and it reads, business owners refuse to hire Columbia University grads after pro-Palestinian protests. Some business owners are expressing opposition to hiring alumni from Columbia University amid ongoing pro-Palestinian protests at the Ivy League school in New York City. In a post to X, formerly Twitter, Tom McClellan, the editor of the McClellan Market Report, said that he will no longer be hiring any recent graduate of Columbia because that school is so tainted. And I furthermore will not hire any older graduates either, because it has become evident that the academic rot is so deeply ingrained as to taint others who have come through that institution in the past several years, McClellan wrote. I cannot have faith that any former Columbia student could have achieved sufficient academic success, especially in light of the overwhelming recent evidence that the academic requirements there are so lax, such that students have time to have time to go set up protests on the quad instead of studying. Valid point. Similarly, consultant Warren Kinsella said, at the firm I founded 18 years ago and in the war rooms I've run for the past 31 years, I've employed hundreds of young people. I'll never again hire one from Columbia. According to his website, Kinsella previously founded the Daisy Consulting Group. In a further statement to Newsweek, Kinsella said, the anti-bias campaign consultancy I founded nearly 20 years ago in Canada will no longer hire anyone from Columbia. I came to this decision with no enthusiasm, but what is happening at Columbia and elsewhere didn't leave me with any other option. I can't hire bigots or excuse anti-Semitism. The comments by McClellan and Kinsella come amid ongoing pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia College campuses across the U.S., including Columbia, where the students set up a Gaza solidarity encampment calling on the school to divest from Israel. Tensions on campuses have remained high since October 7, 2023, when the Palestinian militant group Hamas launched an attack on Israel that killed 1,200 and saw more than 200 taken hostage. More than 34,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since the war began, the Associated Press reported, citing local health officials. Newsweek reached out to McClellan via email for further comment. Columbia previously announced that it was moving to a hybrid model for classes for the remainder. President Minosh Shafik provided updates regarding ongoing negotiations between school officials and protest organizers. Since Wednesday, a small group of academic leaders have been in constructive dialogue with student organizers to find a path that will result in the dismantling of the encampment and adherence to university policies going forward. The statement said, regretfully, we are not able to come to an agreement. And that's where they stand right now. Here's the bigger issue. It's May. Isn't this graduation month at most universities, with the exception of CUNY? Because CUNY has their graduations in June. I'm sure there are people that are coming from all over the world that want to see their loved ones graduate, especially since they paid a lot of money for their children to attend. Because even with scholarships, unless you're like a diversity hire, because that's a real thing. It's not really pretty much easy to just go to an Ivy League college and just, comfortably go without having to take out loans and pay something out of pocket. The reality is this, and I'm a person who attended college and I plan to return and complete my bachelor's, okay? I attended college in the 2000s, okay? And I protested at certain functions, but the difference is I never prevented students from obtaining and continuing their education, okay? Once you have an encampment, right, and you're having it on the campus outside, it's hard for students to go and have access to different buildings, not just academic buildings, but including libraries, including like support services, health services, the cafeteria, the dorms. You understand? So if you're going to protest, hey, I'm all for protesting. And I'm sure most people are. But the reality is you can't block off people's walkways. You can't block off people having access to, just wanting to sit outside and study or just, enjoy, the atmosphere. Most people go to college to learn, all right? But you do have a clique of people who are career students. And career students are a problem. These are students who obtain bachelor's degrees and get their master's degrees. And then get another master's degree and get another master's degree and will get a PhD. And they will become an adjunct professor. But they've never held a real job outside of academia. Because their whole thing is that they don't want to bust their ass and grind, okay? They just want to study and talk shit and a lot of times create chaos. And this is what's going on with this encampment thing. I could tell you, I've been in rooms, I've seen things, I've heard things. It is true. A lot of these protesters are professional protesters. A lot of them are grad students, already obtained their degrees, and they're getting paid to do this. And they get these young people who are impressionable, and they say, hey, I see that you guys have a club where, you're speaking out against the injustice. And that's how they easily finagle their way in. They go into campus organizations and they say, hey, why don't we all work together and, we'll have, invite us to your meeting. And the students genuinely do it and they think it's good. Next thing you know, they're rolled into something that can get them blacklisted. They're already blacklisted. These two companies are not hiring anyone. And whether the companies are good or bad, I don't know. I've heard the McClellan report. But the reality is you don't want to be blacklisted, especially from an Ivy League. What was the point of attending an Ivy League university if you were going to end up not being able to obtain employment because your university is tainted? You spent all this money, you did all this studying for 4 years just so you can be blacklisted. And the possibility that you might not even graduate, that's the worst thing. And what you going to do with those credits? You're not going to be able to take those credits from Columbia or any other school that plans on doing this because this is a domino effect. These people are ruining their futures. Okay? Now, let me go into the whole aspect of the protest itself. I'm not going to discuss what's going on in Gaza and Israel because that's a whole nother topic. But here's my thing. If you're going to protest what's going on, don't attack other groups of people because they are on your opposing side, and vice versa, because that's another thing that's going on. The problem with the protest, a lot of it is a lot of people there hate Israel. They hate them. And they hate them to the point where they want Israel gone. They want Israel gone. Okay? This whole thing with the campuses protesting is a divestment. It's like divesting from South Africa. The thing with divesting from South Africa, though, was to basically break the power of the Afrikaners. Okay? It wasn't to destroy the country. With Israel, Israel is a state. It's not a country. Okay? And so if you divest from a state, that's pretty much like you want the whole place to go. And that's the whole fight between Israel and the Palestine. It's a conflict that's been going on for centuries. And I think that the best thing to really solve at least the campus situation, they need to have mandatory lectures about Israel and Palestine, the origins, because it will give a clear understanding of what's really going on in the Middle East and why it's occurring in Israel and in the Gaza Strip and so forth, and Hamas. Because many of those protesters, they're protesting, but they don't really know the history. I don't even know a lot of history. And you're getting yourself involved in something that you're not going to be able to get yourself out of. And the end of the day, was all said and done, you attended college to get yourself prepared for a good life, not to be blacklisted. And I know people who got blacklisted on different protests way back in the day. It's not fun. Thank God I wasn't one of them. But with that being said, I'm signing off. I'm getting ready to go outside. I got a full day ahead, and I will talk to you all later.